Hello and good evening. My name is Nathan Hudson, and I'm here to read a bedtime story. Now, the story that I chose it for a reason. Most of y'all know that America just recently had a birthday. It's 250 years old. I know that sounds pretty old. That's even older than your parents. I know that's hard to believe. That's older than your grandparents too, and your great-grandparents. We've been here for a while. And this story is called The Star-Spangled Banner, and it's about the song that we sing at sporting events and on the 4th of July, and we've all got the words memorized, but have you ever thought about what it means and why that song was written? Well, hopefully we'll be able to find that out tonight before bedtime. So, once again, the story of the Star-Spangled Banner, and this is written by Patricia A. Pingree, and it was illustrated by Nancy Munger. Have you heard our national anthem? It was written after a big battle. In September 1814, America was at war with England in Baltimore, Maryland. A giant American flag flew over Fort McHenry. The flag was as big as the side of a barn, and each star was as tall as a 2-year-old child. One day, a British boat sailed into Baltimore Harbor. The sailors saw the American flag from a mile away. Now, I would like to add to this, it wasn't just one boat, it was a lot of boats. And to the soldiers and the citizens inside that fort, it probably looked like all the boats of Britain had showed up and were threatening them. The British began firing their guns at Fort McHenry. They wanted to take the fort. The American soldiers fired back. They were not going to give up. In another boat, a man named Francis Scott Key was watching the battle. Now, Francis Scott Key was a lawyer, and the whole reason he was in that boat, in that harbor, on that day, was he was sent to negotiate with the British to release American prisoners. And if they did that, then the Americans would release British prisoners. And they had come to an agreement. It was great. Everybody was going to win. Everybody was going to go home to their families. But the captain of the boat told him that he wasn't going to release them just yet, that the whole British fleet had shown up and they were going to take the fort, and at the end of this battle, it wouldn't matter because the war would be over and that those prisoners would have been released anyway. And Francis Scott Key, he pleaded with the captains like, there's no reason to take the fort. It's like, just there's women, there's children, there's people in this fort, so we have to stop this. And the captain told him that if the flag stops flying, if they take down the flag, they'll stop attacking. So all night, the British ships fired their big guns. All night, the Americans fired back, but the flag, it wouldn't go down. And the British were starting to get a little upset. I mean, they figured that this should have been over a long time ago. So they decided they wanted to cheat. They started targeting the flag. They were going to knock it down. The Americans weren't going to take it down. They were going to knock it down. But you know what I think? I think the Americans saw this. You know what they said? Not today, Britain. Not today. And all night, Francis Scott Key walked the deck of the ship, and he prayed that the Americans would win the fight and that the flag would stay flying. When the sun rose, Francis saw the flag, the Star-Spangled Banner, still waving over Fort McHenry. The reason it was still flying is because those soldiers, when they saw that the British were targeting it, they braved the cannon fire and they held it up. They held it up on their own. Francis was so proud, he wrote a poem to say how he felt. This poem became our national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. When we hear it played, we stand and we remove our hats and place our right hands over our hearts. The Star-Spangled Banner by Francis Scott Key. Oh, say can you see, by the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars, through the perilous fight, over the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave over the land of the free and the home of the brave. Good night.